It was more than VGK could bear as the Bruins downed the shorthanded Golden Knights. We also recap the Flyers game from over the weekend and what could VGK lines look like as they head to Winnipeg.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. We are Locked On Golden Knights. You can find us on Twitter at Locked On VGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And also make sure that you subscribe to our brand new Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel and leave those wonderful messages, mostly about me. So Sunday night was a
nothing
night
new over the
brewing.
weekend. I checked it. No new messages, Tony. I know you're devastated.
Bummer. Sunday night was absolutely brewing for the VGK, Bruce Cassidy, VGK fans. In fact, I don't believe, you and I were discussing this. We didn't see Bruce Cassidy show up for the post-game presser.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out. I checked the VGK Twitter this morning, and I did see some other media members mentioning some, Cassidy quotes and things like that. So I don't know if he did like a flyby in the locker room or if the VGK social team, for whatever reason, just felt this might have been one not to post for whatever reason. But I didn't see any notes of him coming off fiery or, throwing water bottles or throwing phones at media members. So I don't think it was anything like that. And just maybe every now and then you need a break. And I don't know, this is the time we need to hear from Coach, right? This is the time. And I'm not saying we didn't necessarily, but maybe as fans, if you will, as people who enjoy following the game, who unfortunately were not there last night, we crave content. We crave content. And right now we didn't get it last night.
Before the game, Cassidy said that he wanted his team to play with more passion. They did for a while in spurts, but again, they fall 3-1 in the game last night. They also played without Jack Eichel. So Eichel played on Friday night against the Flyers, but then this injury just kept him down again. And then Shea Theodore is out. No Alex Peitrangelo, still out, missing his 7th game due to personal reasons.
That many already, huh?
Yeah, it's up to 7. And then Whitecloud gets injured. Taylor Hall fell on top of him. It was an awkward fall, and it looks like he hurt his leg. He injured his leg, helped off the ice, and so a rash of injuries for the Vegas Golden Knights currently.
Definitely bad luck. No one's going to feel bad for us, just like I've commented when other teams come in with some injuries, or when you say it's rigged, Tony.
It is rigged.
When other teams come in with injuries, I don't feel bad for them. No one's going to feel bad for the VGK, definitely. And I'm glad you mentioned Jack Eichel. Friday, I wasn't doing the media thing Friday, but I was still down in the glass hanging out with my son on the VGK side. And Eichel came out for warmups. That was the first sign that he might play. Then he took the line rush. At that point, you knew he was playing. And every time he shot the puck, he had this look like
just
every single time he was
some pain.
It looked like he was in pain or discomfort. Or maybe he's just that passionate. If he misses a warm-up shot, the dude is upset. I don't know. But he did not look like a comfortable human on the ice. And going back to Zach Whitecloud, just a very unfortunate situation. I hope that was not the old ACL slicer like in football where the offensive or defensive linemen step on each other or fall on each other. It happened. It's unfortunate. Wrong place, wrong time. And it's adding up now all of a sudden, right? VGK was on the right side. I think we had a segment dedicated to the good health of the team not too long ago and everything rolling, and
jinxed him.
Oops. Black Cat went by and it's been all downhill from there, unfortunately.
So VGK led in this game 1-0 on Mark Stone's power play goal. VGK was able to break through against one of the top teams defensively on the PK. They're also ranked up there on the power play. The Bruins are. And it was Stone from Chandler Stevenson. And Ben Hutton finally gets his first point of the season.
On the power play. Like that was I thought that was very odd. I wonder who else could have quarterbacked the power play. And honestly, Miramonov, I'm surprised it wasn't him. Maybe he was out there in the first part. I didn't watch a whole lot of this game. My son had his final hockey session of his cross ice program. So my focus was pretty much on that, but I was trying to peek up over at Mackenzie River every now and then to see what was going on. And I got a glimpse every now and then. Between that and sweating some football scores, it was hard to kind of keep up with everything as I was prioritizing, making sure I got my son's shifts in first. But, they broke through, like you said. They got the first one. I think the passion was there. I think the energy was there. But unfortunately, you're playing the Bruins, who are the best team in the league right now. We are the worst home team in the league when it comes to scoring. So perfect storm the wrong way for the hobbled VGK that couldn't bear the pressure of the Bruins. I had to do it, Tony. I had to see what that felt like. I feel terrible now.
VGK loses yet another second period. The Bergeron goal, they lose 1-0, and now they are something like -7.
Nice goal. Beautiful
yeah,
goal.
They're -7. And then the other goals, the DeBrusque revenge tour against Cassidy, he scores a goal. Charlie Coyle, an exceptional goal, but he skates past Maramonov and also Martinez on that goal.
Yeah, I mean, the Coyle goal, you just get some traffic in front, and hopefully, you shoot and you pray for rain, spray and pray, whatever terminology you want to use. And, the LT, if you can't see it, you better hope it hits you. And unfortunately, neither of which happened there. A lot of credit for that second goal, though. A lot of credit for the Boston second goal. Miramonov gets caught pinching a little bit, but Alec Martinez covered him. Alec Martinez made himself as big of an obstacle as he possibly could have. He got down low. He got his stick down. He got his hand down. He got his head down. And it was a tremendous saucer pass that got that across. And, DeBrusque was able just to tap it in.
And nice win for the Bruins on home ice last night.
Right, exactly. A lot of Bruins fans in the house, no doubt, and I love to see it. I've mentioned that so many times. I appreciate the road fans. It's good for our city. It's a fun environment. I get that we get upset about it especially when their chant breaks out and stuff like that. But listen, this is Vegas, and Bill Foley knew this was going to happen when he put a team on the Strip in Las Vegas, and that's one of the reasons that the team is still at 103% occupancy, no matter what. But I do have to make note that Friday was a bit different, though. I put a video out there around, I don't know, somewhere during the first period, 4 or 5 minutes in the game. I made sure to get the scoreboard in there so you could see all the empty seats after the puck was dropped. And it was very interesting because Philly travels well. So I think it was more the VGK, fans decided to take a reverse retro 2.0 version 2.0 off. Like that? Mm-hmm. You like that?
I like that. And Linus Ullmark, who was one of those players that Cassidy developed himself, now improves to 16-1, and he's got to be the favorite, the top choice currently for the Vezina. And I was thinking, Chris, about Bruce Cassidy and this team and the makeup of this team, and none of the players on this current roster are Bruce Cassidy players. So does he have to change the system to adapt to the style of these players? He's trying to run a lot of what he runs, but these might not be the correct players to fit into his system.
I mean, yes, no, I don't know. First of all, Boston is in the same boat, right? They got Montgomery coaching, phenomenal coach. He probably would have been our number one choice until Cassidy came onto the table. And then obviously VGK swooped up Cassidy hours after he was fired, it seems like. Montgomery would have been a great fit as well, ready to make that jump, I believe, from the Tampa organization for a long time. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong.
Dallas.
Was it Dallas?
Isn't he off the Dallas tree?
He's got a wonderful future. Good guy. Great future. Great future of the Montgomery. But point being is that was that a Trump comment right there? But moving forward, folks, don't get mad. I said that word. We're not going to have a big political thing here. Don't get mad at me. Don't at me. So moving forward from that, there's really no Cassidy guys on the VGK. And I think part of that is because Cassidy came in late, right? Me and you, Tony, how many times over the summer, hey, free agency started. Where's our coach? What's going on here? Like it was, and then we also mentioned maybe VGK caught wind that Cassidy might be, becoming available, which is why they might have waited. Who knows how that all works out? But some of the free agents were off the board. VGK couldn't spend a whole lot of money. Obviously, we knew that coming into the offseason. The Robin Leonard situation threw a wrench into everything, and just so many strange things happened. And sure, there's no quote unquote Cassidy guys on this team. We couldn't get Pasternak over. We couldn't get Marchand over. We couldn't insert any random Boston Bruin player here. But VGK did have a 5-1 start at home. They did have a 9-game winning streak. They are still top of the West, I believe. They are still top of the Pacific, I know, at least. So sure, no quote unquote Cassidy guys here, but he came into a turnkey situation. And it's a house that doesn't need a whole lot of at least when he first, so here we go. It's like you buy that house, it's maybe 22 years old, right? You see the house, your inspector sees the house, everything is good, a couple small things, maybe the garage door track isn't perfectly aligned, whatever it is.
I sense a graphic is coming on here.
No, I can't do anything here. I got nothing. But 6 months later, all of a sudden, the floorboard comes up. Oh, man. And then all of a sudden, the dryer stops working. The gas line needs to be
the Money Pit
replaced.
movie. That movie, The Money Pit.
There you go. Exactly. And maybe this is kind of the situation that Cassidy's coming into now. VGK was very, good turnkey deal. And then all of a sudden, the Money Pit's perfect, except maybe replace money with the word injuries. We're in the injury pit. Copyright Golic. We're in the injury pit right now.
They're also at times in the salary cap pit as well. Coming up next,
no problems there. No problems there. No cooking the books. There we go.
Okay, no cooking the books. Coming up next, a review of Friday night's game against the Flyers, a VGK overtime victory. More after this on Locked On Golden Knights. If you've thought about securing your home with home security, but have been putting it off, you'll want to listen. Right now, VGK, Locked On VGK, I should say listeners, can order the #1 rated Simply Safe home security system for 50% off. The biggest offer of the year. You don't want to miss it. And what we like most here at Locked On Golden Knights is that Simply Safe has the advanced technology, whether it's controlling your system from your phone with the app, watching the crystal clear HD live stream on your security cameras, the wide variety of high-tech sensors. Simply Safe was named again the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report. Simply Safe is an entirely whole home security system. They've got advanced sensors for every room, window and door, HD security cameras for inside and out, smarter ways to detect motion that alert you only when a threat is real, and even hazard sensors that detect fires, floods, and other threats to your home. With the Simply Safe app, you can stay in complete control of your system anytime, anywhere. You can arm or disarm, unlock for guests, access your cameras, or adjust the entire system settings. Don't miss your chance to save big on the only security system that we recommend. Get 50% off of the new Simply Safe system. Simply go to simply, S-I-M-P-L-I, safe.com/LockedOnNHL. SimplySafe.com/LockedOnNHL. There is no safe like Simply Safe. Welcome back from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thank you so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Of course, you can find our podcast available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. So Friday night, Chris, VGK surviving against the Flyers. We knew this was going to be a low-scoring contest. I hope the fans belted the under in this one. 2-1 was the final. The overtime win. Jonathan Marchessault he gets past Kevin Hayes and scores the game winner in overtime. That was the only shot on goal for the VGK in OT, in an overtime that was dominated by the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, definitely credit Aiden Hill he made a wonderful save in overtime that basically kept VGK in this one. And yeah, it was a bad game. I'm shaking my head the whole time. Besides being there with my kid, there was nothing fun about the hockey on the ice. You knew, and Cassidy, when he decided to show up for this presser, and I shouldn't say it like that, we don't know if he didn't show up, but when Cassidy did his presser on Friday, he mentioned he had competed against Tortorella a lot on the opposite bench, and he knew it was going to be a muddy game, not a lot through the neutral zone. You knew there was going to be some rough stuff, after the whistles and things like that. You knew that was coming. So credit Tortorella for finding a way to take a team that on paper, even given all the VGK injuries and players out and all that happening, he found a way to keep his team in the game. But I think most of that credit goes to Carter Hart, who had a phenomenal game. Carter Hart, something about T-Mobile, maybe down the road, if we're ever looking for another goalie, because the goaltending drama always seems to be a thing here in Vegas, maybe a Carter Hart will be the next one to join that discussion sometime down the line. But not a great game. And, like, you got overtime. It's fun. It's exciting, but there was not a lot of up and back because, like you said, Philly had the puck the whole time. And I had my press box reaction after they scored the goal, right? In the press box, you don't cheer, you don't stand up. And I saw Marchessault get the breakaway. I wasn't sure if he was going to get a clean break or not because Hayes was right with him, but Marchie had the line you can see. And I kind of moved to the side like this just so I can see because everyone started standing up. I didn't get my butt off the chair because I was not excited. And Marchie got the goal. My kid cheered. I gave him about 10 seconds. I tapped him and said, "Let's go." And that was it. Like, I had no excitement. I was just, that's the spot where you got to put a team away. The Flyers should not hang around ever in a game like this. I get it. I'm the one that says it's best on best, where even though the Flyers aren't that great of a team, they're still one of the best 32 teams in the world. Like, I get all of that. But after that just stinker of a game against the Rangers on Wednesday and every other stinker of a game on home ice, there's got to be a statement at some point. There has to be that statement where, you just put someone away and it's a party atmosphere the whole time. And no, that was not what happened on T-Mobile. And then you get the cliches after the game. Here come the cliche police. Oh, good teams find a way to win. Get out of here. Stop it. You're slumping. Times are tough. They're going to get better, I think, but acknowledge reality right now. And VGK is struggling. Not you, Tony, just in general, the players.
And these injuries notwithstanding, Chris, VGK over the weekend scores but 3 total goals when they should be scoring 3 goals per game.
How about 7 goals in the last 5 home games?
Wow. Yeah, that's an eye opener there. Yeah. And they're headed to Winnipeg, and things are not going to get easier because that team is playing pretty well. The 20th victory, however, for VGK on the season. Why are fans so frustrated? Is it because of the lack of, I don't know, the lack of passion at times? Is it due to the fact that they're not scoring goals, that they're not winning on home ice? Fans are very frustrated, and we can see and hear all of their opinions.
Results. It's I think DeBoer last year at some point when he was going down the cliche path, as all coaches seem to before they get fired, unfortunately.
It's cliche highway.
Yeah, cliche highway. There you go. I mean, your team's down 3-1 in the playoffs. Hey, we're going to take it one game at a time. You got to leapfrog 6 teams get in the playoffs. We're going to play the games, whatever, to stop it. But the point being is there's frustration. And back to what DeBoer said, this is a results industry, right? You're paid for results and you got to win. And, you mentioned before, I feel like not too long ago, Tony, you mentioned before that, if they were 12-2 on home ice versus 7-6 or now 7-7 on the road, I don't think anyone would care, right? That's a recipe for a successful season. If you dominate at home and, do a little better than 500 hockey on the road, you're going to find yourself in the top 2 spots in your division, probably the top spot, competing for the conference and possibly even the President's Trophy for the best record overall in the league, which VGK still is. They are still in that conversation. Obviously, Boston has a little larger of a gap right now, and we'll see how these injuries play out and things like that. But, I did mention, I found the tweet the other night. It was against the Arizona Coyotes. I said troubled waters are ahead. Something is not right now. Something is just not clicking. It's whatever it is, it's not working. And Arizona is, their 31st or 30th ranked team overall in the league right now. And was Arizona playing up to VGK, or was VGK playing down to Arizona? And those are the questions you ask yourself as these lower teams come in to T-Mobile. And my comments about troubled waters was not because I predicted there to be all these stupid injuries. That's just, that's bad luck. But my point with all this is all these points that VGK could not bank. St. Louis, Vancouver, not even showing up against Seattle or the Rangers. Like, all these games that you got to bank points, even sneak a point every now and then. This is going to hurt. This is going to come back to haunt the VGK, whether it's a playoff spot. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Whether it's going to allow Seattle or the LA Kings, who have got back in the conversation now, to win the division, or, whether it's on a higher level, the President's Trophy or first in the West. These games are going to come back to haunt us. And now with the injuries, we predicted a 500 December would have been good, a 500 win percentage. However, that works out with the points. That would have been good with a fully nearly healthy team, maybe minus Pietrangelo for a little bit. Now it's Pietrangelo, Theodore, Whitecloud, Eichel. And, I mentioned not too long ago as well, Eichel, when he took the pregame skate, just didn't look good, wasn't comfortable out there, just shaking his head every time he shot the puck. And, who knows what's going on. And, now it's time for McCrimmon. We'll talk about this maybe in segment 3 to do his thing.
Okay. And you could tell that we are not the beat writers for the VGK, AKA part of the PR team for the Golden Knights, because you made that call. You did make that call, and you could sense that something was wrong. And to your credit, everything is.
I wish I was wrong.
Fruition.
I wish I was wrong.
No. But again, it's just being honest, right, and transparent about what is actually going on with his team. That you're not going to get that coverage, folks, anywhere else. Will Carrier played well in that game against the Flyers. He almost spotted his second goal. He scored the one goal, almost had the second. Kessel, who seems to be playing a little bit better now. I don't know. Maybe he finally woke up. Enough of the celebrations and milestones and all that. And then both Kessel and Carlson had post. I think they hit the crossbar in that game, right? Friday.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple.
More chances.
And, Kessel's a little more noticeable now. And,
okay.
He's just having a hard time finding his way. But, opportunity's knocking right now.
Injuries are mounting for the Vegas Golden Knights, as we mentioned, and who will be taking the spots of some of those injured players. We'll talk about that right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports betting information, for stats, news, and analysis. You get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur team that is out there, from football to basketball to the NHL to soccer to esports. We have it all on BetOnline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We are always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Welcome back from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick on this Monday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. And make sure to check out our YouTube channel. And please subscribe. Locked On Golden Knights. So, Chris, the injuries, yes, they're starting to mount. VGK might have lost a couple of more players to injury over this past weekend. On Friday, Shea Theodore collides knees with Travis Sanheim. And those could be I've had that happen before in basketball. Well, neither one of us were jumping, because we have no hops. But but also, and then in the game against Boston on Sunday, Taylor Hall, we talked about it, fell on top of Zach Whitecloud very awkwardly, and it appears as though he injured his right leg. And then Eichel, you discussed, came back on Friday, still sore, I would have to imagine, from that leg injury, the non-contact injury that he sustained last week. And they are still without Alex Peitrangelo, who now has missed, as we mentioned, 7 consecutive games. So who will fill these voids if some of these players, they're starting to learn how to play, I guess, if they can, without Pietrangelo, who might have been having his best season, and a great start. And then how do they fill those other voids for the VGK if they can't go? If they missed a plane to Winnipeg, they're not going to just fly them to Chicago. So, I would have to imagine that whoever misses that plane on Monday will miss both games this week. Probably.
Yeah, that's fair. And, it depends on, Gary Lawless almost got himself caught in a trick bag on the post game. One of the times when Nick Waugh was gone, he made the comment, well, I didn't see Nick Waugh on the plane. And then he backtracks it right away. He's like, well, I know we're not really supposed to talk about that. Maybe he was on the plane. I don't know. And, so that was, he got caught with his pants down, unfortunately, there. But we love Gary Lawless. Very, very intense dude. Whenever you see him, like, man, that guy can make a children's book. I got to get a plug here for my wife's book pretty soon. But he can make a children's book look like a murder mystery novel. You know what I mean? So going forward, talking about replacements from the AHL level on the backside, I think we can unfortunately safely conclude Zach Whitecloud is going to miss time. I hope it's not much time. I really hope it's not the worst case scenario. My immediate gut was that terrible ACL slicer. That's what I saw when Whitecloud went down, like the football players, the linemen falling on top of each other. That's what I saw. I really hope that's not it. Miromanov and Hutton already are getting time right now. So I think Pahal and or Korczak would be the options.
Got to bring Caden Korczak up. I thought he was next in line.
He definitely seemed like he was next in line during training camp once, but then Nick Hague signed, and that pushed him obviously to Henderson. This is before Miramonov was able to get over his injury that had him miss a ton of time. So looking down here, let's look for Korczak stats. I mean, I don't have his plus minus, unfortunately, but 1 goal, 5 assists, and like Korczak doesn't necessarily feel terribly noticeable out there, which Braden McNabb's not noticeable either. And I don't mean that in a bad way. So maybe he just has that stay at home type of game where, it works. So maybe you give him the opportunity and he'll succeed. Pahal, that's a little more intriguing, just 7 points for Pahal as well. But Pahal is much more of an in-your-face type of defenseman, for lack of a better term. One of the games our season tickets for the Silver Knights are like 6 rows behind the net, where the Silver Knights shoot twice, and there was a scrum of some sort, and they were getting their butts kicked that game, and he gets face-to-face with someone, and someone basically, for whatever reason, kind of tempts him into, he's like, hey, what are you going to do? So he takes off his glove, he pops him in the face. He just popped him. He dropped him, and a big melee ensues. But point being is, Pahal seems like he has a little more of that edge. Does he have the skill that Korczak has necessarily? I don't know, and I'm not sure if Pahal or Korczak. I don't think has played any NHL games yet. I don't know about Pahal. I will look that up.
I thought he was up. I thought he was up late last season.
He might have been up late last season.
A couple of games later on in the season. I thought he was. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And again, the biggest area of concern now is defensemen. All of your blue liners, things are getting really sketchy there. And Pietrangelo doesn't appear like he's coming back anytime soon. And
No.
can they do it minus Shea Theodore? Can they do it minus Zach Whitecloud? Those are the questions that need to be answered, and quickly and very, very fast. And maybe Cassidy was frustrated with not only the lack of, passion or stopping the Bruins or what have you, but also, all these injuries starting to add up. And then no whining in VGKville. Take a look, if you want to take a look at a team that is really depleted. Colorado, the Avalanche, they're decimated with injuries currently.
Washington early in the season when we played them on that Monday game,
overtime
winner, I believe, late in overtime. So no one's going to feel bad. No one felt bad for us last year when we went through this. And you and I, Tony, we talked earlier in the season about some other teams coming in, and we don't feel bad for them when they have injuries. Like I don't care. I don't care. You don't care. The fans don't care. We want results. Back to Pahal, 2 games last season with the VGK, -2, no points logged. So we'll look for that to hopefully change. And,
Did you see that?
I saw.
I was right. I was right for once. I'm right for once.
Oh, no. Someone will at you for that. Believe me, I get it. They'll look at your shirt and get you. What does your shirt say? What does your shirt say? What does that say?
I know when those. There it is. It's a Drake thing.
It's a Drake thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's Drake.
You're way cool beyond my ears.
It's like
Tony.
it's like Hotline Bling, but I know when those sleigh bells.
Tony, I got nothing.
Ring. I know something to that effect.
This feels like segment 3, folks. But this is
free
where
sweatshirt. Free sweatshirt. It was a free sweatshirt.
There you go. This is where we see what Kelly McCrimmon has up his. What's that?
Sneakers free. Free. Sweats.
Nice. I paid for my company hat that I'm wearing right now. I paid for that. Little shout out for Silver State Hits right there.
Wait. Before we go today, shout out for your wife's book, please. Can you shout out your wife's book? Okay.
All right.
Show and tell time. Okay.
Yeah, no, we got it here. So, friends here, I'll put a link up on our Twitter handle as well if you want to check this out. But Care the Crab, It's Okay Not to Be Okay. My wife Amanda illustrated the book. You can see right there. There you go. See. She's the illustrator. Her friend Sarah wrote the book, and just a great children's book. Wonderful story, kind of being comfortable with yourself. It's okay not to be okay is the subtitle, and basically just, it's okay to be different, okay to be happy. Just a wonderful message, especially if you got young ones out there. It is on Amazon. As a matter of fact, my wife just tweeted this morning. This is pretty remarkable. Give me 1 second here. Or she not tweeted. She doesn't tweet. Well, just a little bit. So it is actually the #1 new release in children's fiction on social situations, according to Amazon. So that's pretty remarkable.
Huge.
Like that's pretty
good.
cool. So
okay.
Thank you, Tony, for giving me that. We didn't even talk about that. That was very kind of you to allow me the platform here.
It's the season of giving, brother. It's the season
as your shirt says. So I'll put a link out there for everyone to check it out on Amazon. Get those reviews coming in. And
can you read that?
I can see it. That's terrible.
We thank everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow we will preview the Winnipeg game. This is a much different Winnipeg Jets team than we saw earlier this season. They're playing for the third time already. It's fixed. The schedule is absolutely fixed. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow. Make us your first listen each and every day, free and available wherever you get your podcast. And also make sure that you go to our YouTube channel. And it's only Monday, folks. You have no idea what we have.
It's only downhill from there. It's only downhill from here, as our viewer count's going to be.
For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.